Hello friends, welcome to CEC Gurukul live lectures. Dear friends, this is another session on career counseling called Pratibha Samvardhan. Today, this session is basically for the undergraduate students or those students who have completed their graduations or those who have completed their post-graduation too, because this session is for all the students who wish to enter into a job market, those who are pursuing their careers in different streams, but they wanted to know how they can enter into the job market, what tips are required so that they are fully prepared when they face an interview. Friends, for this discussion, we have with us in our studios Ms. Ashi Agrawal. Ms. Ashi Agrawal is a student counselor and she is working with the Jitin Chawla Center for Career. And friends, we would like to tell you all, she has done her master's in clinical psychology. She has worked with students and her expertise would definitely help us out in understanding the topic in detail, that how one can explore the job market and what tips are required. Let's welcome our guest, Ms. Ashi Agrawal. Ms. Ashi, welcome to the session.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for the invite. Okay, so when we talk about the job market, it's extremely intimidating for the freshers. Even if you're pursuing your undergrad or you've just completed, job market can be extremely scary. As you step into the professional world, navigating the job market can seem daunting. However, with the right mindset and strategies, you can position yourself for success. Today, we'll explore some valuable tips to help us navigate the job market and kickstart your career on the right foot. So the first tip I have is define your career goals. Before you dive headfirst into the job search, take some time to reflect on your career goals and aspirations. What kind of job are you looking for? What institutes interest you the most? Clarifying your objectives will help you focus on your job search efforts and tailor your applications accordingly. So, for example, let's say you're an undergraduate student who's pursuing economics. So, you need to ask yourself, what kind of organization are you looking to work with? Do you want to work with government organizations, or you want to work with think tanks, or do you want to work with MNCs? You need to understand this first. Later on, you can also think about what kind of role do you want to work in. Is research something that interests you, or is finance that excites you? So this is very important and the first and the foremost important step for us to understand our goals. But what happens, as an undergraduate, we don't get a lot of opportunities to explore ourselves. So I would say internships are the best way for you to actually get a feel of what area interests you the most. So I would say during your undergraduate time, take as much opportunities and interns with different organizations in different roles, so that once you're stepping into the job market, you know exactly what you want to work and where you want to work. The second tip I have for you is resume. Polish your resume. Your resume is actually the first introduction to the potential employers. So we want to make an impact and we want to make it good. Highlight your academic achievements, your relevant skills, internships and extracurricular activities that actually demonstrates your abilities and your passion. Tailor your resume for each job application to emphasize the skills, experiences and most relevant to the position. When I was on the other side of the table, when I used to actually screen resumes, so this is one thing that I saw, that resumes, there are a lot of errors as a fresh graduate that you are very vulnerable to make. For example, there was one thing that we see, that resumes are 4 or 5 pages long. Now, as a fresh graduate, I have 3 years of experience and still my resume is just 1 page. So this is something which is very important for the students to understand, that your resume should be 1 page. It needs to be crisp and concise. Second, you need to make sure that there are no typos. So I used to go over my CV a lot of times. Like, I finalized it, I would still read it and reread it and then again read it, because every time with every reading I would find a typo. Typos are so common, and this is something which we do not want our intended employers to see, that we're making a mistake, or it actually shows that we're not that serious for the job. So these are just some of the mistakes, errors that we make in building our resume. So it's very important that you take note of these. Also, there are a lot of, I understand that as a fresh graduate, you find a lot of problem in building your own resume. There is no training, the colleges generally don't understand the problem and they don't provide enough resources. So what you can do, just there are a lot of online resume builder tools that are both, you can find both free and paid. For example, I'll share you my perfect resume. So you can go on Google, you can actually search it, it's amazing. Will help you with also it'll also give you prompts to actually understand, you know, what you can write. And there are also tools, AI tools, which will help you after you have built your CV, which will help you evaluate it. Like it'll give you a mark, it will also tell you whether your language was formal or informal. It'll also suggest you changes, and we have both free and paid resources for both the things. Okay, so the second tip I have is harness the power of networking, and I cannot emphasize it more than I already will now. So networking is the key to uncovering hidden job opportunities. Getting your foot in the door, reach out to the alumni, professors, family, friends and professionals in your desired field. Attend career fair, industry events, network mixers to actually expand on your professional connections. Remember, a professional connection can often open doors and might otherwise remain closed. For example, I'll give you something from my own personal experience. So I was at this conference and I interacted with the person who started his own mental health startup. I went there, I introduced myself to him, and we talked about his vision, what he's looking for, what is he doing, what kind of people is he employing. We just spoke about each other. We majorly talked about his interest, what kinds of challenges he's facing. He talked about my experience, and it actually built a very good network. And in the similar fashion, I've understood one thing, that networking is something which gets you from here to here, because it not only helps you understand the challenges a particular person has faced while building themselves up, but you'll also understand that what kind of opportunities there are in the field, the kind of skill gap that exists. So there's a lot you can get out of it. I understand that as fresh students, fresh graduates, you have a lot of anxiety, and you don't know what exactly should you be talking to them. I mean, you get it that networking is very important, but you do not know what to talk about. I mean, should I just go and introduce myself? Won't that be awkward? Why would they talk to me? But it's actually not like that. I'll give you some pointers along which you can, initiate at least the conversation. And once the conversation is initiated, everything flows very easily. For example, you can just ask them questions about their interest, their job roles, the challenges they have faced while working, building their own startup or finding a job. You can also ask them for recommendations that they can provide for you. So I think this is something which is very important.
So these are the tips given by you so that the students can be well prepared
Yes.
before facing an interview board or preparing when they wish to be into the job market.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, I would know through you, because we have different set of students and you might be meeting different kinds of students, because every student have different psychology.
Yes.
Their way of perceiving things is different. Their way of perception is also different. Yes. As well as what they think about themselves is also different. And how each child work on himself or herself is also different.
Yes.
So now the question is what basically we have seen so far. When students enters into a job market, they have high expectations. Once I land into the job market, once I receive the job, it would be a very lucrative one. And
Yes.
from there, the testing time starts, because
Yeah.
when you are a fresher, the scenario is entirely different, because the market, the industry which you are into, will accept you as a fresher only, though you have done internships, though you have done workshops, seminars, and many other elite things. So how students should prepare themselves in the way that yes, they need to accept this challenge also, that it is not going to be an easy task. It is not going to be the bed of the roses that you enter into a job and they will provide you a lucrative job with a high package as we expect.
Yeah, so actually that's a big problem, that the kind of mindset we are entering the job market is very important. And generally we are under this false impression that just because we have done bachelor's, we'll land a job right after that, right? But that is where the problem starts actually, because there now we talk about that the market is in recession, we talk about that there are not enough jobs there, we see layoffs happening every other day in the newspaper. However, I still see people getting 100% hike, I still see people getting the dream jobs. So why is certain set of people are not able to find jobs, and while the other are getting promoted and getting big fat roles and good packages, everything? So why is there a distinction between the two? The reason is that the skill set, the market needs trained individuals who are trained in the skill set, whereas the kind of graduates we are producing lacks those skill set. We have academic knowledge, but that doesn't take us long, right? So there is a lot of short-term courses, online courses, where you can actually build on your skill sets. Let's take an example so that we understand this. Let's say you're doing your bachelor's in psychology. Now you have understood personality psychology, you have read about developmental psychology, you have read about a lot of things. However, that doesn't help us so much, because we need to understand, we need those skill set, we need those technical skill set. Like you can enroll yourselves in training programs where you'll actually learn how to do counseling. Let's say you're interested in research, so then you get yourself enrolled in that particular training program so that you get those requisite skill sets.
Very true. Now, the question is, as you have yourself explained, how important your resume is and how carefully it should be written or it should be prepared. Now, another question is, because I have raised this question before also, that every student has different psychology and every student has different way of going and achieving his or her goals. Sometimes we have those students also, those who might have studied something else, but now they wanted to be in somewhere other area. Now for them, how resume becomes very important, because then when you are entering into a market or a job you are unknown with, then how to take care of your resume there?
So this is a very, very up and coming issue. We see in our job a lot of clients which come from a different academic background, and now they're not interested. They've understood that this is not something which interests me that well, and I want to shift. So there are always two ways whereby you can shift. Either you pick up a postgraduate degree in a different discipline, and you need to make a case for yourself. You need to you need to convince the panelists who are maybe taking your academic interview. Let's say you want to go after your bachelor's in psychology, you want to go for not a master's in psychology, but you want to go for a marketing degree, MBA, right? So how will you, and there are good interviews and everything, how will you convince the panelists? You need to make a case for yourself. You need to make them understand how psychology is benefiting me in my marketing role. Let's say you're working as a professional marketer, so how is that helping me? And it's the same with all the cases. Like and it's very natural. You don't have to feel like you're weird, you're odd one out. It's nothing like that. This is very common, and it's actually very good that you understand at very beginning only, even after your bachelor's, that this is something not interests you. Now this is one way of actually navigating it, that you pick up a different postgraduate degree, something which interests you, and then you move forward. There's also another way. You can pick up some short-term courses. As you pick up the short-term courses in the field which you desire to work in, then you'll definitely also find job opportunities in the similar area. Let's say you're a psychology graduate, but you want to transfer in the field of data analytics, let's say. There are a lot of short-term courses being offered. There is Delhi University, Shahid Sukhdev College of Business. They offer a short-term course. You can go and do that, and it'll help you land good opportunities. It'll open your, it'll help open your mindset and help you develop the requisite skills. So even if you feel like this is not that common, believe me, it is. Okay, let's talk about the next tip that we have. So we need to utilize online platforms. In today's digital age, online platforms are invaluable tools for job seekers. Create a professional LinkedIn profile, showcase your skills, experiences, and career interests. Join industry specific groups and follow companies you're interested in. Additionally, explore job search websites and platforms like Indeed, Glassdoor, LinkedIn Jobs to find job postings and opportunities. So when I made my own LinkedIn account, I actually did not understand why people are so hyped up about it, and it's normal to have this question in your mind. As I actually in the initial days made my LinkedIn account, after that I understood, I started following people of similar interest, and I got to know about many opportunities through them. They comment on various posts, they are themselves involved in a lot of training programs and a lot of events, which gives you an idea of what is actually happening in the market. So this is one of the most beautiful way that LinkedIn can help you utilize the online platforms. Also, this is a normal way in which most of the students are going about. There is also something that you can do to go above and beyond, like cold emailing. The power of cold emailing cannot be stressed enough. Cold emailing is all about you email a person you do not know, but you have their email account. You tell them that this is a certain set job role, and I want to work in here. And you make a case for yourself. You explain why they should be interested in you. You can also seek for guidance while reaching out people through Instagram, LinkedIn DMs, right? You craft a short message, an engaging email or text. It's important. Also, don't always expect to receive a response. Cold emailing and texting, cold texting is basically a lot of times you'll not receive a response. It's very important on the part of the student to not actually feel discouraged by the fact, but I'm sure if you're crafting an engaging email or a short text where you can introduce yourself and talk about what exactly you intend by email or messaging them, then I'm sure that you can receive a good response, which would be actually very helpful for you. You can also reach out to the people to provide a reference for you. Let's say there's a job opening. A majority of people will go on LinkedIn and apply for the said role. However, you can be a little different. What you can do is reach out to the people who are already working in the organization and ask them for a reference that this is a said role, I'm interested, will you be able to provide or a reference for me, or can you tell me how to go about it? So this is one way that you can go above and beyond, and it'll take you a little further into your into actually meeting your said job, dream job. The next tip that I have is prepare for interviews. Now, as you start receiving interview invitations, it's crucial to prepare thoroughly. You do not want to waste these opportunities. After applying into 100 places, I'd say you'd get asked for interview calls, you'd receive for like 20-25 organizations. Yes, that's how it works. However, once you receive those interview calls, you do not want to miss them. So research the company and understand its mission, values, and industry position. It will help you seem more prepared for the interview. You do not want to go and they are asking you about certain things about what the company does and you're unaware. It shows lack of seriousness on the part of the candidate. Practice common interview questions and rehearse your responses to showcase your strengths, suitability for this role. Dress professionally, very important. Arrive on time and bring copies of your resumes and any relevant documents. So when I was working as a counselor, and even now when I work sometimes as a teacher, my students often reach out to me, with all that anxious mindset, and they're like, "Oh, ma'am, I have my interview. How to go about it? I'm so nervous. I think I'll not be able to speak." And these are very basic feeling. Having anxiety just shows that you're serious about the particular role. You want this. So it's important to enter, what I tell them is that it's important to enter the interview setup with the right mindset. Mindset is a game changer. You need to be confident that yes, you can do this job, you can do this job well. If you yourself are not convinced, it'll be hard for you to convince the interviewer or the panelists to that you can actually do it. And we are not there to make them confused, right? We are there to convince them. So first we convince ourselves, then we'll convince them. Then I know that there is also a lot of questions around, what kind of questions will be asked, what kind of situation based questions will be asked. I'm interviewing for this particular role. This is the second most frequent question I've been asked. So you can take help of AI. This is the age of artificial intelligence, and let's take it to its ultimate use. So you can use artificial intelligence like ChatGPT to actually understand what kind of questions can be asked from you. You can just give a proper prompt that this is a particular role, this is a said company, what can be the interview questions that I can expect from that. So these are something that you can use. There are also many other AI tools which you can use, but this is just one example. The second tip I have is stay persistent and resilient. So like I said, you'll apply to 100 places, you'll receive maybe an interview call from like 25, 20 places. So it's very important for you to be resilient, to not lose hope. See, the job search process can be extremely challenging, and it may involve setbacks along the way. Rejection is completely natural part of the process, but don't let it deter you. Stay persistent, keep refining your search, and learn from your experience. Stay resilient and maintain a positive attitude at all times, knowing that the right opportunity is just out there waiting for you. My brother is in his last semester for his degree, and as he was looking for jobs, he got a lot very, very sad, very, he lost hope, I'll not find a job. So I try to make him understand that it's a process. It takes time. You need to go through these cycles of rejections so that you can learn from them and then build on it. So this is something I think that fresh graduates should seek support from family and friends, because the job search is extremely tiring. So stay persistent and resilient.
Definitely, and you have noted as well as you have pointed out something very important, that yes, failures makes you.
Yes.
The more interview boards you will be facing, the more confident you will become.
Yes.
And the day will come when people want to hire you, they want you, and they'll invite you. Please do come with us. Please do
Yes.
work with us. Thank you, Ms. Ashi, for giving us this wonderful session. And dear friends, we believe that you might have gathered lots and lots of tips in form of information too, and we believe that your support is very, very important for us. Keep watching us, keep writing us, and yes, of course, we would be discussing more in this particular topic. Thank you.